Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I have a special guest. She's never been on the show before, but we've known each other for 5 years, I want to
I think
say,
so. Yeah.
maybe six, something like that, 2014, 15-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
Well, everybody, this is MeeChee. How are you doing, MeeChee?
I'm good. Hi, everyone.
And she wanted to do this episode. She was one of the many people who asked to come on my show to do this. When I was only planning two or three. Of course, that I got a lot more than that. And then like the next day, more people were still saying. So like how
Mhm.
a Facebook algorithm, there'll be like a little thing, then all of a sudden it'll go down and it'll go down, and then
Yeah.
somebody will say something, so it'll go up on people's feeds, so more people will see it. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want more. I almost deleted the whole thread, but I had to have it because I had to write down all the people and see who can come on and when, and yeah, I was so excited. And I've been excited to have you on the show. Like, I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh,
uh,
yeah. I was really surprised when you're like, hey, I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
well, there you go. It's like winning. It's like, I mean, I feel like it's like the golden ticket.
Yeah.
Though that's not like, that makes me sound like I'm bragging or something. But anyway,
You deserve some bragging rights. It's okay. You know, you
we're
work hard.
we're here to talk about Black Waters of Echoes Pond. Now, this was a movie that I've seen. I saw this I think back in like 2009 or 10, about the time, or maybe even 8, but it was about the time it got finished. A friend of mine sent me a copy of it, and I was excited to check it out. Um, it was basically, I wanted to see it because I interviewed the one of the writers of it, Sean Clark, and I had to make sure to talk about it and everything. And this movie here, I don't remember seeing. It's been a while. So I was like, oh, so it's almost like fresh and almost new to me. But so what was like your, when you heard the name, were you kind of excited about it, or did you kind of like, I don't know what to think of this movie from the title?
The title was very interesting. The Black Waters of Echo Pond. It's like, oh, all right. So what's going to happen? So I just jumped right into it. I watched it twice, actually.
Wow, yeah, you watched it more than I
So
did. All right. I watched it once today, so it'll be fresh in my mind. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It stars like, I think, four people that are sort of known in the world of like film, but
mhm.
it stars Danielle Harris, who you might know from like the Halloween 4 and 5, and she was in the Halloween 1 and 2, the Rob Zombie ones. She was also in tons of low budget horror and big budget horror, so she's all over the place.
Mhm.
And then also stars James Duvall, who you might know from, well, I always know from Donnie Darko. That's my favorite thing. But
Oh, okay.
he was also in, like, the Doom Generation and a ton of things. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, right? He's the main guy or whatever, the one who had the car wreck
Oh, yeah.
and everything. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been in a lot of stuff. Um, and then Sean Lawler, I guess, was in the beginning of the movie. And I don't remember. I know he's been in a lot of stuff, but the biggest name in the whole thing is Robert freaking Patrick
Yes.
from Terminator 2. I mean,
Yes.
uh, sort of playing a good guy or whatever. Like, I mean, as good as he can be. So, by the way, we're gonna
Yeah.
spoiler this movie. This movie is gonna get spoiled today. So if you
Yes.
haven't seen it, go check it out on Tubi. It's free on Tubi, and I think you guys will like it. Get a kick out of it, and then come back and watch this review, because, I mean, there's so much to talk about. But like, if we just beat around the bush, it won't be a good review. We need to
Mhm.
really dive deep into some of the stuff that happens.
Yeah.
So to begin with, how would you sum up the story of this?
Uh, I was I went in thinking it was going to be just like a bunch of friends, campy horror, you know, that type of thing. I would sum it up as a wow, I wasn't really expecting that kind of outcome, you
But
know?
like, what was the story like? If you could like summarize it in like a few paragraphs, if you can think about it, like what, how would you describe it?
A bunch of friends getting together to play a game, and they, I'm sorry,
No,
I'm
it's
getting to,
okay.
but it's just like nine friends get together for the weekend. They find a game, they play it, and they kind of the game starts to play them, you know,
Right.
and they get to see each other's true nature, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a little island. They can't really go anywhere. Just no cell phone reception. You know,
Yeah.
they can't call out.
Which
So
always is sort of the most annoying
always,
thing in horror films because everybody's like, "Oh, I bet they're not going to have cell phone reception." But I mean, makes sense on that island, you know.
well, yeah. I mean, Pete, the guy played by Roger Patrick, he's like, "Did you see any cell phone towers on your way in here? I mean, hello." You know, I was like, "Okay, yeah,
Okay,
okay."
so
So
nobody
this,
can call for help, you
yeah,
know.
so can't even scream because like the next island or the mainland is probably like what did he say, 2 hours away or
Yeah.
something.
If I mean, if honestly, I mean, just because I'm on my phone 24/7 anyway, you know, I would if I went to a place that had no cell phone reception, I'd probably be like, this is like a horror film idea.
Yeah,
Nope, I'm done. I'm out.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not going.
I would leave messages to people saying, "I'm going to be here. If you don't hear from me on Monday, come look for me." Okay.
Exactly.
I'll let
That's
people know where I'm going to be.
that's a good plan. At least somebody doing that is always a good plan, right?
Yeah, but no one ever thinks of that whenever, they go to these things where just like, "Oh, we're going to have fun and no cell phone. What now? Oh, let's play a game."
Right, right, yeah. Let's play a game. A harmless little board game, right?
That was a huge board game, though.
That was
How did they get it out of there?
I
This one.
don't know. It was a huge board game. It had cranks and shafts that nobody understood how that was happening. You know,
Yeah.
they thought it was too old to like run on batteries, you know.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, um I guess it was definitely like part of the it was based from the cave drawings or whatever that the people found. They found the basically the spell of how to do it,
Yeah.
and then kind of all came to life in the I the coolest part I thought was I didn't even think about it until after the scene, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, that was cool. But there was a scene where James Duvall runs in and he looks at the board and he flips over the cards and they're all
Mm-hmm.
blank.
Yeah, they're all blank.
And so like meaning that when they only were like working when they were playing the game, you know, like when they rolled the dice or when
Mm,
they or whatever. Otherwise
okay.
they don't come to, they don't come to life. And if you think about that, it's kind of true because it's really what I always got out of this was if you mixed um Jumanji with Truth or Dare. That's kind of how I viewed it, you know. It's kind of like Jumanji meets Truth or Dare, like because but more truth than dare.
It was very much more truth than dare, and it was the deep, darkest truths that
Yeah, it's
that was
your
brought out.
I think it was called
Yeah,
like most of the time they say truth be told,
truth be told.
right? And they were
Hmm.
saying these like terrible things to each other.
Oh
And
my
I was like
God.
thinking, why would all these people really gather together when they have so much baggage with one another? You know, like that was just asking for trouble, you know?
Sometimes love is blind. You know,
I
so
guess.
friendship and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't understand that. It's like they all had something against one another, if not piling everything onto Rick. Nobody really liked Rick.
Nobody
You
liked
know.
Rick. I liked Rick.
I didn't. I like Rick. I mean, he was trying to be honest with everybody. He even said that to what was his name, Anton, that he was going to go apologize to his wife for what he supposedly did or something. I don't know, or was it Kathy? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I
He
was just like, he was trying to be a good guy, but everyone made him out to be Rick the Dick.
yeah. He was
You know?
like one point he was just like can anybody say anything nice about me? You know,
Yeah.
like I've done so much nice things for people, but all you guys can remember is all the bad
All the
stuff that I've
bad
done.
stuff.
But he'd
Yeah.
done so many bad things to everybody. Like he kind of pissed off everybody in some way or another. And
Mm.
that's why, like, in the beginning of the movie, they even say to each other, they look and they're like, wait, who invited him?
Yeah. So
Like,
who did invite him?
I don't remember. I think one of the probably one of the ones who didn't have anything, you know. I would imagine it would
I
be who?
I think it would be one of the twins, the fiance, Anton's best friend. Was it?
Oh, that's right. They did mention that. They mentioned
Yeah.
that her boyfriend or fiance or whatever, Trent, was that his name? I'm gonna say
No,
Trent.
Trent was the one engaged or something to Kathy,
You're
Danielle
right.
Harris.
So who
Was it
was?
Josh? Nick
Okay,
Minell?
hold on. Let
Josh?
me let me look these names up because there's so many people like in this movie, which is great. I love movies
Yeah,
like that. It was either Josh or Anton. That probably not Anton. I
I
think it
think it
was
was
Josh.
Josh. Yeah, Josh was engaged to the other twin.
Yeah, the other twin.
So I'm thinking he's the one that invited Rick because Rick bought him the ring.
By the way, those twins are the nieces or niece-in-law of Robert Rodriguez, who did like El Mariachi and Desperado and Planet
Ah,
Terror, and they were in Planet Terror and a few other things. It's kind of how they got
yeah.
their start. Was like he put them in some movies, and they're hot little Hispanic girls, and so they got, they started getting a lot of like more indie stuff like this
Hmm.
than big time stuff. But they are, yeah, they were really good. I liked both of them in the movie.
Yeah, because they were not just because they were twins and grew up with each other, but they were also in sync with their lines.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
especially when they were yelling at Veronique, calling her whore. All at the
Yeah.
same. That was. I was like, wow, they got this down pat. So
They were good.
yeah.
I was a little kind of, I don't know. I was a little creeped out about a couple of things, like when they were like suggesting like that orgy kind of thing at one point with the two girls, and like, what I mean? I was like, really? That's some weird shit there.
With the twins.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
twins, because they were like, oh, we could all go to bed and then, and all fuck each other or something. And I was like thinking, good God, like
Yeah.
that would mean that they'd have to be like, that would be weird. I'm sorry. Like I have two sisters and a brother, and I would not want to see any of them naked.
No, not yeah.
Um,
No, sorry.
no. And so I like, no, and I was so glad they never did anything like have both of them kiss or anything, because they are really twin sisters. They're not
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
just sisters or half sisters or step sisters. They're literal twin sisters, and that's just like there was a show called Love on Netflix, and the have you seen that yet?
No, I have not.
Well, in the beginning, the first episode, there was a scene with two like sisters,
Hmm.
and the guy freaks out that they're like okay with like a threesome together, when like he thinks that's incest, and sort of is. I mean, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie, that's sort of weird,
that would have been a little uncomfortable seeing. And then they're like, "Oh, let's go swimming instead."
exactly.
Yeah. So.
So they went in swimming instead, and then Anton left with the one twin, and the other guy got extremely jealous, or Josh got extremely jealous real freaking quick about that. And I was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like, because half the time I'm wondering what's the game and what's like just them personally, or
Hmm.
if it's all the game. And I guess that's what's good about the movie, is it really makes you start, like it's almost like a psychological thriller in the sense that you have no idea like what's the game and what's them just being, you know
Right. Like I said
themselves.
earlier, it was the game playing them.
Exactly.
So instead of them moving the pieces, Pan was moving them as the pieces in his game, that they so voluntarily started. And just to up and leave the game and go either to the bedroom or to go skinny dipping, it's like, who does that? Don't you want to
Right.
finish the game? No, no, let's go skinny dipping instead. It's like, okay. I was a little confused, but at least there were still a couple other people still playing, like Robert and Trent. Oh my God, what Trent did to Robert.
Oh yeah, like the violence in that scene.
Wow, I was not
Um,
expecting that.
my favorite death scene in the whole thing was when was it Anton? I think it was Anton gets shot in the head by
Pete.
by Pete, and then lands on the trap.
Just oh, that had to hurt.
He's dead, so like I guess it didn't hurt, but like I
Oh,
mean,
that made me laugh.
you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, that had hurt. Yeah, that
Yeah.
line. But that like he was dead. I'm pretty sure he didn't feel the trap at all or
Oh
whatever.
no, not at all. I mean, he was
Yeah.
ready to go after Anton and Kathy, and then next thing you know, bam, there goes his head,
Nope.
and then right into the
In the
trap. I
trap.
was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's
But
so
for
good. I
to
was
say
just
that
very surprised.
there
Um,
was a lot of surprise deaths.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
we're spoiling this. So I don't care.
So.
Um, we're already spoiling this, but Danielle Harris getting the chainsaw, like because fucking Rick just throws her into the chainsaw, and I was like, wow, holy cow! Like he just,
He was just like, get out of here. It's like,
yeah.
okay.
And then Trent just didn't give a crap at that point because he was already possessed or whatever.
Yeah.
But guess what? It
Hmm.
all didn't matter.
That was that was a Final Destination moment.
No, it was a well, sort of, I guess. Yeah, you could see all the future of what's gonna happen, but
What?
it was more like Wizard of Oz, where
Oh,
you wake
everything
up and
just
everything's just a dream. Because it
yeah.
said, "Would do you want this to be a dream or reality?"
Hmm.
And I'm like thinking, who the fuck wants any of that to be reality? I would be like, it's a
Yeah.
dream.
No.
That's what I
Yeah.
kept saying. Dream, dream,
Yeah.
pick dream. And
I,
then
I
his
was
eyes
too. I was too.
eyes turn, and then I'm like, wait, how does that? What in the world did we just? What the hell did we just see? Like, did none of it happened? I guess at the end, and
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was a
know.
confusing part to me. That's why I watched it twice. I'm like, did I miss something?
Nope, you didn't
The
miss
first
anything
time.
on that.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't miss
I
anything.
don't think you missed anything. I think it's
Um,
just all still confusing because I don't know why they did it that way. Maybe because I mean I don't know because then it doesn't make it because like I feel like when you do the dream thing, it ruins
hmm.
the whole movie. Not just because it's a dream, but because like then it's like okay, so we watched all of that for nothing. You know,
Yeah,
like
like
you know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, what in the world is going on here? So I like it would have been cool had he said reality or
hmm.
something and
Hmm.
then it all started again, so we saw
Yeah.
saw that it was going to happen or something,
Hmm.
or that it kind of told them that that was going to happen, or whatever. I don't know. It's just makes me go, okay, I don't know. I didn't like the dream aspect of the whole thing, so it
I
wasn't.
didn't either.
But
I was impressed with everything else leading up to it, and then just to have him sit there again with everybody, I was like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, ask him the question again, ask him the question again. I'm like, what question was he asked to begin with? He's the one that started the game.
right, what was the first question? I forgot. Like,
Trent was the first one to roll, and he was saying something about truth be told, and that's when he accused Robert of all that stuff.
so it should have been Trent,
That's what
or
I'm saying.
yeah, it should have been him who got it, not Rick.
Yeah, because
Um,
Trent was all throughout the movie, you know. I mean,
right.
so was Rick, but it was just like I don't know, just
Maybe
to
it was
have.
like right before Rick actually left, because like at that particular time, Rick left, you know. But then again, then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the beginning of it, where that beats the whole purpose of like where they're arguing and they're it's getting really real in the beginning, right? With what's his like with Trent and what's his name, Robert, yeah,
Oh,
Robert and Trent yelling at each
Robert.
other to
Yeah.
begin with. So
Mhm.
because he starts it off with him asking some serious shit and starting to talk real,
Yeah.
like, and everything. So I thought that was the game controlling them to do that, or whatever. Because like I said, like there's so much baggage with all of these people. Like it did not feel like they needed to be like secluded on an island together,
No, 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 no. They should have been like a beach house or something, where they can just get on the main road and take off whenever they wanted, and not be, like you said, secluded to the island when there was only like one boat and a dinghy.
And no cell service.
No cell service.
No cell service.
No
I mean,
TV.
no TV. Like,
No electricity.
yeah. And I don't even know why they kept playing the game. Like, after a while, it sounded like they didn't even like each other from the stuff that they were doing. It should have been like, let's not play this game. However, if they did that, they have no movie.
Yeah, well, one of the twins kept saying, I don't want to play this anymore. I don't want to play this anymore. She says that repeatedly,
And then she still plays.
She still plays.
Yeah.
And so,
or at least,
I don't know.
Like, stays there,
But it was, I actually had like three other people watch it with me the first time, Saturday night. And then I watched it by myself today. And I still felt that I thought it was well.
What
put
did
together.
everybody else think?
Yeah.
Like when you showed it to them? Do they
Well,
enjoy it?
One was being very very
critical
about it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then others, the other two were like, wow, they were talking about the music score, they were talking about the dialogue, they were talking about how, like during horror movies, like sometimes it gets really, really loud and you can't hear the dialogue, It didn't do that, so it was kind of like
it didn't do that. Okay, all right.
No, we didn't feel like it did. It just kind of ran smooth with each other. Nothing was overbearing,
Well, there was parts where the music like amplified more than anything,
Yeah, but there wasn't really any dialogue going on.
Yeah.
At the time.
I thought it was, I thought this music, the sound design, everything was very top-notch professional.
Yeah.
The director did a fantastic job with this movie.
With the sepia in the beginning to commemorate, like in the past, you know what I mean? And then converting to natural colors later on for the present.
Exactly.
So I was just confused at where they started in Turkey and they ended up in
right
in Maine. Is like, wait, what just happened here?
Right. But it's like, if you think about it, it's a game, right?
Yeah.
So the games travel from place to place occasionally or something.
Like Jumanji.
Just Jumanji. Or it could be like that. I don't know. I kind of wish that they did more with the game idea. Like maybe that the game like moved on to another place or something, like maybe like there was no, like how I would have probably ended it was with, maybe him being the last survivor and somehow, Rick being the last survivor and that's it, right? Like everybody else is dead. And then the game somehow ends up on somebody else's like front steps or something. And they're like, oh, what's this? Right? Let's go play this game.
Or like an auction, because everyone on the island's dead, so we might as well just auction everything off, and then someone buys it, so, or wins it at an auction, and it just kind of travels from there. Yeah.
Or it could have just ended with fucking Rick blowing his head off, because that one guy did that when he killed his friend in the beginning of the movie, and then he killed himself.
God, yes. That surprised me. He's like, I took care of it. I hid it where no one can find it, and then boom, boom. I was like, whoa, what just happened here?
He hid it where nobody can find it. He hid it in fucking Maine or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little confusing because, like, you're right. Like, how did it get there? But, I mean, it's a supernatural, like, psychological thriller. So, like, there's no wrong, thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could have been anywhere, or whatever. I mean, if people are gonna, deconstruct the movie or whatever, then you're not enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, and this is one of those movies. You gotta turn your brain off. You gotta kind of just enjoy it. I mean, just accept the craziness. you know.
Yeah, because don't do what I did, looked into the Greek mythology of Pan. It's like, wait a minute, because like they
Oh,
had Pan, and it's like, okay, why was he there? He was just standing around. Okay, so what was he actually doing? And the
I think
Echo
he was
Pond,
controlling them in a way.
yeah,
That's
but
what
he,
I my guess. My guess.
yeah, but it also the black waters of Echo's Pond.
Right. And
I
then,
was waiting,
well, there was that stuff in the game where it was talking about Echo and her pond. I
right,
mean,
and it was just part of the game, though, So that, I mean, that's why I was like really interested in the black waters of Echo's Pond because I thought it was going to be like an actual,
pond.
pond, So when people were in the water, I was like, "Ooh, here it goes," and okay, nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, just I mean, the backstories of those two are pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
I like them. I actually like the construct of the board game. That was really cool. Very detailed.
Yeah.
Very detailed.
And how, like I said, like there's that part where it like starts moving on its own and
Uh-huh.
doing all that stuff. That was pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it's Jumanji, it's
Yeah.
just the idea, it's a horror Jumanji, which is kind of cool. Like, I mean, like if you're gonna do a Jumanji movie or whatever, you might as well make it a horror these days because I mean, we're
Hmm.
living 2020. We're living in Jumanji. Somebody's playing Jumanji, making all these crazy angry murder hornets and shit.
Oh yeah.
All these crazy things happening. All every
Hmm.
month, something new is happening. You just survived level 9 of Jumanji.
Welcome to
Right?
level 10, the last quarter.
Yeah, something like that.
But I did like the concept of the evil side of Jumanji type.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. That was really fun to see how people would react and you know to each other as
Hmm.
well. So
All in all, it was enjoyable. There was a lot of characters, so there are a lot of cool deaths, and um, I mean,
yeah,
the
yeah,
only thing is, I mean, because you can't really have a death until like, like a lot of people who may be going into the movie thinking, oh man, it's going to be like a bloodbath from the very second, is going to
right.
be disappointed because in the beginning it's kind of boring. I mean, in a way, because there's just a setup, right? It's not
Hmm.
boring, but like it doesn't have a lot of like action or whatever. And
It's a
then
slow start.
it's a slow start. Then
Hmm.
it really like once it turns and everybody starts getting possessed, that's when it gets kind of fun. You see all the people hunting each other and trying to kill each other, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
It reaches that PNR, that point of no return. You know.
exactly.
So and it just kind of escalates from there, but it doesn't slow down. That's what I like. It didn't really slow down to where
You
you were bored.
you saw it twice.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, who
Hmm.
was the head inside the crab trap?
That was Pete.
Did Pete get killed?
Remember when he went off to try to jumpstart the car, the boat,
Oh,
and then there was that single shot that he had left.
oh.
Yeah. So what you saw in the face, that was probably from the buckshot or whatever, but that was
Uh-huh.
his head in the
Okay.
crab trap. Yeah.
I couldn't tell, but I only watched it for a little bit and stuff. So at
Yeah, because
least
the other body on the other side of the boat, that was Josh.
Josh,
Josh, I believe.
jeez,
Yeah.
everybody just bodies and heads and everything just showing up everywhere.
And Veronique, oh my God, the way she died. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness, yeah,
Yeah.
ugh, she. I was like thinking she was just gonna just throw herself off the boat or something. And
Yeah.
I actually, or not boat, but the dock,
That.
into the water. Like I
Hmm.
would have, that's what I would have done because she was like stuck between the two girls and I
Hmm.
jumped. Worst comes to worst, you get eaten by a shark. I mean,
Hey.
at least you would have survived two crazy chicks trying to kill you. I mean, I don't know, but it was a crazy movie. I had a fun time watching it.
I
I
did
definitely
too.
want to check it out again.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
movie that I will, gladly be watching, and showing to people because it's more fun. my roommate walked in while I was watching it, right? And she
Mm-hmm.
was cooking her food, and she hears like one thing, and then she hears another thing, and hears whatever, right? After a while, she goes, "There's a lot of people accusing people of fucking in this movie,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yep." And I had to explain
Yeah.
that it was like everybody had done something to somebody that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
some kind of sexual thing or something. Like
Yeah.
what's his Rick apparently got, I don't know. See, what was real and what wasn't, you know? Because there was that one
Yeah.
point where Kathy saw Rick put her brother, you know, her dead
Mm-hmm.
brother, and switch places with them. But that
Right.
didn't actually happen, I don't think.
I
I
don't think
don't.
so because I believe Rick's vision and his
Right.
memory of what happened, because then
Exactly.
there
It
was,
showed that too.
yeah, because they
So,
also showed like Kathy when she accused Rick of what happened that night,
mm,
and it shows somebody sees a scene between her and Rick, and then I guess Trent sees a different scene between
right.
her and Rick.
Right. So yeah,
Then
Trent sees them, sees his girlfriend or fiance or whatever, fucking,
initiating it,
yeah,
yeah.
fucking him, and then
So,
it's like it's like what do you see, what do you don't see, like what's real, what's not, and you
hmm
don't know. We don't know because the only way we would know is if we saw for real, like in the
hmm
beginning of the movie, clips of what sort of actually happened and stuff,
hmm
before they got to the place, right? So
right.
we knew that setting up, but we didn't. So we are only seeing what the board shows,
what
period.
what he said, she said, what he said, she said, what he remembers, what she remembers, that type of
Exactly.
thing,
And
you
we
know.
don't know. And we
Mm,
don't know what's real or, but see, they don't even know what's real because
yeah.
like even Kathy says she doesn't remember what happened. Neither
Right,
does neither does Rick. He doesn't know what
right.
happened. They both were like drunk, so they were probably both blacked out,
hmm
and I mean, probably nothing happened, you know, but we don't know any of that.
Oh,
And
when you get drunk, it's like, sometimes you get hot, so you just want to take off a layer.
right,
You know what I mean? So that could have happened, and
yeah,
nothing happened between them.
exactly,
So
you
you
know,
never know. Once again, the game was playing them.
yeah, which
So
is
I
kind
don't,
of
I
a
don't.
like an interesting like tagline, the game that plays you, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I think I would be very afraid.
You would not want to play like a game like that where, I mean, I wouldn't like knowing.
Not on a secluded island. No.
Hell, I wouldn't even want to play it like right here because like it'd be even scarier here because you don't know what's real, what's not, period, anyway, you know?
Mm,
So like you
mhm,
call a cop, you don't know if the cops are coming for real or
yeah.
if like who shows up is that, you know what I mean? Because it like
hmm
really plays with your mind, and everything. I would if I knew. See, they didn't know what the game would actually do. They just played the game, which makes
Yeah.
me wonder, like, because they were like, it was creepy. So there was a line in the movie where the guy says, "Oh, it's like Monopoly, right?"
hmm
And then I go to check my Facebook, and Monopoly pops up. Like my phone's fucking listening to me and stuff. It's like that's another whole creepy kind of movie altogether, you know.
I would
Um,
like to see a part two. I want to see what happens, where this game ends up.
Sadly, I mean, it's been over 10 years that this one got made. This got made and put out in 2009.
Mm,
So I don't think there'll ever be a part two, but it is one of those movies that I really enjoyed, and I would love to, like, if there was a part two, I would watch it. You know,
yeah.
um, I just think like it's kind of sad because a lot of these indie movies don't get sequels unless like they've already got the money set up for a sequel. You know what I mean?
hmm
Because
hmm
like they spend all the money on the movie, right? And
hmm
and everything, and they're lucky if it gets like even bought by someone, or put out,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
it kind of sucks when you see these things because you're like, unless this movie becomes a big hit for like some company,
hmm
it's most likely just going to be one movie. um
Mm.
but this could have been, I mean, honestly, I I would have just shortened it to Echoes Pond, or I know that later on there's a Black Waters movie already and stuff, so maybe they
Hmm.
wouldn't want to do that. But I would have called it Echoes Pond, because like
Yeah.
Echoes Pond Part 2 sounds good, or Echoes Pond 2 sounds better than the Black Waters of Echoes Pond 2, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like um but if they can make Jumanji 2, they can make this too,
Yeah,
like.
I think there's a three now.
Oh, is there? Did they make a third yet, or like
I
is it
think
out?
I think so. I don't know if it's out, but
I'm not
uh,
surprised, because that was definitely a big hit, like
mhm,
recently and
mhm,
everything.
yeah. So
But all in all, I really enjoyed this movie. Like you said, I would watch it again, and I would want a sequel if they ever could make one. I doubt they would.
mhm.
But if they did, I would be first in line to watch it. I'll let the writer Sean Clark know I did this and stuff, and send him a copy of it so he can check it out. Because we don't. I mean, obviously, the point of a lot of these things is to showcase movies. Period. Whether or not they're great and everything. I thought this was, other than a couple of the issues that I had with it,
Yeah.
which weren't really big issues,
Mhm.
then it was pretty good.
I enjoyed it, and two of the three other people that watched it with me really enjoyed it too. They were just surprised at the quality. I was like, oh, okay, but yeah.
So you
So
meant one of them was the critical one, was probably a little bit more not enjoying it as much, but that happens.
yeah,
You get people to watch these things, they get kind of bored, I guess, by it or whatever. They get too critical, and they're like,
they
they're
dissect it.
you dissect
You
it
know.
too much.
Yeah.
And I agree that that's not the way to go into this movie. Don't
No,
go into
you
this movie
can't.
trying to dissect it, because you're just gonna get annoyed, because it's
Yeah.
not meant like that. It's a movie where you turn your brain off, kind of enjoy
Mhm.
it. It's got a lot of violence, it's got a lot of craziness happening.
Mhm.
I watched it originally anyway, because Danielle Harris at the time was sort of coming back into the horror world. Like she had just done a Halloween, and I'd seen a bunch of indie films by her at that time. In 2007, the same year she did Halloween, she did another movie called Left for Dead, and it was a
Oh.
Canadian horror film that I just absolutely loved, so much that I interviewed the director, Christopher Harrison, and I absolutely I adored this movie. And it was another slasher, guy in a mask going around killing people at in a dorm kind of thing or whatever, during
Mhm.
whatever holiday it was or something. Like not Fourth of July, something um Canadian holiday or whatever. It was
Okay.
fun. It was enjoyable, and I really like. I love seeing her, and I met her a couple of times. She's really sweet.
I was gonna say she
Um,
seems adorable.
I think
Yeah.
I met James Duvall once, very shortly.
Okay.
He's a really nice guy too. I have not met Robert Patrick. I want to meet him so bad.
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
like he's such a great actor. I love seeing him in everything that he's in. But he's, no matter what, he'll be the T-1000.
Yeah.
From
I
Terminator
mean,
2.
those are my favorite movies.
Really?
Of Yes, it's like of all time. Those are my fallback movies. Those are my number one movies. I could watch them over and over and over and over again. And it's just to see him, I was like, no, that's not him.
I'm
That
surprised
is
they I'm
him.
surprised they didn't have him go and put a picture up of one of the guys and say, "Have you seen this boy?" One of the. That's like what he's most known for, is that line in that movie. Have you seen
Oh
this?
my God.
You seen this boy?
I've seen this boy.
Um,
He's holding up the
but
picture.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love him. I adore him. And just everybody in this movie did such a great job. There was nobody like, even the acting. I mean, some of the characters, like the twins were, you could tell that they mostly spoke Spanish. I think like
Hmm.
their accent was very. I mean, they're from Mexico. So they were wonderful though. I absolutely I want to see more from them, and I think they're still doing stuff. So
I
good for them.
enjoyed their accents. I enjoyed it
I enjoyed
because
their
it was
accents, and I enjoyed
different.
Anton's accent.
Anton's, yes.
Yes, At first, I was like, wait, does he have an accent? And
Yeah.
then I was like, wow, all right, that's
Mhm.
he's
Mhm.
not also from America. All right, rock
Yeah.
on. I don't know
Yeah.
where he was from, but he had a great accent too.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
he's
liked it.
also from Mexico. I don't know. I don't know where.
I don't know. How do you pronounce his real Arcady?
I don't.
Arcady Golubovic.
So that was his real name.
Yeah.
Oh my
Arcady
God, yeah,
Yeah.
Ar- Golubovic. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
maybe he's Russian then or something.
Either way,
Uh,
I thought it was awesome. Just,
yeah, he did a fantastic job. I
mhm.
enjoyed, and it looks like he is kind of left acting necessarily. Like, well, maybe not left it. Yeah, he left it in 2011, and he's continuing to like produce.
Okay, so he
Stuff.
wants to be behind the scenes. Nice.
Yeah, so he's doing mostly behind the scenes. So
Okay.
that's awesome. Good for him, because
Yeah.
like sometimes people realize what they really enjoy,
Mhm.
and what they're really
Mhm.
good at. And he was a great actor, so I would love to see him do some more acting too. But I think he did a fantastic job in
I
this.
think so too. I mean, I've never seen any of his other work, but I liked him in this one. So,
Mhm. Yeah, you did a great job. Like all of them did a fantastic job, and I can't wait to. I hope all of them are continuing to flourish. I know Danielle
mhm.
Harris took a break from acting to raise her kid and stuff, so good for her. But I think she's coming back now, and hopefully, I know she just did. If you go to like, I think it was Bloody Disgusting, one of those websites. I'll
Mhm.
send you the link later, or maybe I'll post it in here. But
Okay.
there's a movie that they did, she did with like Kane Hodder and Dee Wallace and Scout Taylor Compton and a bunch of people, a bunch of horror icons. But they did a movie called Stay at Home or whatever, or something like that.
Hmm. Okay.
Stay Home or something. It was like a home in, like it was a quarantine movie, quarantine horror film. You
Like we
know,
need more quarantine in our life right now.
well, that seems to be just what people are doing now. Is like like Zoom has helped people to be able to shoot stuff, in their house or whatever, and
Yeah.
do like these movies, and then everybody puts them together and cuts them into a movie. Um, Whatever, like that's that seems really strange to me, but
Whatever floats your boat.
yeah, and
However you can make it work. So.
I think it would be funny to do a quarantine slasher now, because you wouldn't be scared of somebody, with a mask on, would you?
Mm, mm, mm.
No, so they wouldn't be threatening at first, so they could kill you easily.
Right.
Walk up and go, slit your throat. See, that would be scarier, right?
Well, I have a wall behind me, so if I were to be in another Zoom, I have a wall behind me. I would see them coming. So
Right, that's true. Right
yeah,
now, right
right
now. But
now,
I'm
yes,
saying, like, if you go out in the real world and you see a guy with the mask on, everybody wears masks. So
yeah.
you're not going to go, okay, that's a serial killer right there,
Hmm.
and that person can come after you, or whatever.
What did he look like, ma'am? He had a smiley face mask on. I mean, yeah,
Yeah. And then I'll be like, okay, a lot of people have those. Or,
yeah.
my favorite ones are those just normal masks you get everywhere, you
Hmm.
know,
Just a
like
straight
the,
color.
yeah, blue mask or
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
And I mean, see, I am now giving people an idea for a slasher. I should do it. I should make a
And you're welcome.
quarantine. Yes, exactly. So there you go, people. If I don't do it, you guys do it, because that would be
Mm,
freaking awesome. To watch and that's the beauty, is people could go and do these movies with like their friends, film them, put them all
hmm.
together into one big giant movie. There you go.
Hmm. Hmm.
It works. So, but anyway, we're not here to talk about the quarantine. We're here to
No.
talk about Black Waters, and we had a great time. I mean, with
Yeah.
it. So, if you guys check it out, it's on Tubi.
Hmm.
It's also on like the Tribeca film streaming channel or something. I think you get that on Amazon as well, but or you could just rent it on Amazon. But I mean, if you want to watch it for free, watch it on Tubi.
Yeah.
commercials. I mean, they're not that annoying.
They aren't. They really aren't. And it's just it gives you a nice get you right back into it, so
Or you
you're
can
not
buy it
missing
on
much.
DVD only for like $5. Like it's on
Oh,
Amazon for like $5. So it's definitely worth it. I actually want to own it at some point. I hope that maybe the DVD has like some commentary and maybe explains a couple things,
yeah.
like
Let me know. Let me know if they do because
yeah, because I'm gonna probably buy it at some point, and if I buy it, I definitely wanna I definitely want it like that. So I want to check that out. So anyway, thank you guys for checking this out. Thank you, MeeChee, for coming on. I mean,
well,
this is
thank you for
awesome.
having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So join us tomorrow. I'll have another show for you guys. I think the next one will be solo. So which I've been enjoying doing those too. So I enjoy having a guest or enjoy being solo. I mean, either way, I'm watching a movie. If somebody can't make it, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna review it. It only takes like an hour extra, after watching the movie, so 3 hours at the most to do this show. So there you go. All right, well, thank you and everybody, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And thanks to the filmmakers and the cast for this awesome, flick that we got to see.
Yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Have a good one. Bye,
You too.
everybody.
Bye.